Ba ba ba. La 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 la. Let's do the call-in show. Let's do the call-in show. Thursday night call-in show. It's the Thursday night call-in show. We like to have a little fun. We like to drink orange cream Coca-Cola. This is orange cream Coca-Cola. Chaim, I made a bracha earlier. Got some new gadgets on my desk, or on my, not on my desk, but around. We're gonna explore. We've got some plants. People don't like the plants. They think it's too many plants. We're just experimenting. This is a palette. It's a blank palette. We paint. We experiment. So we might take out a plant. We might move a plant. You guys like the plants? Comment if you like the plants. Please remember, as always, not as always, but as for the past month, we are in the middle of our annual campaign. We are trying to raise our annual budget for SoulWords. That means funds that we need to keep this operation going so that we can continue to reach 10 million people a month across all platforms and to continue to change lives. You know, that's what we do. We share meaningful content that gives people clarity, hope, encouragement. So we're going to ask you for your support. Charity.com/RST. I just wrote it in the chat. Charity.com/RST. And if you donate any amount, I will read your dedication live on the call-in show. Is it too late to call in? It's not too late to call in. Here's how you call in. You see, we don't just take any call because we don't have like a producer who can screen the calls and make sure you're not going to call in. Just say Baba Booey, Baba Booey. So thank you for, someone wrote, Yodeling Rats wrote, I dig the plants. Thank you. If you want to call in, you have to send an email to info@soulwords.org. That's info@soulwords.org. And you have to give like a 1-sentence summary of what you want to talk about, just so we can kind of have an indication that you're a real person. And if we think that it's a real topic and something that we could talk about comfortably on air, then we will give you the number to call. Yeah, there's a barrier to entry. We don't make it so easy for people to call because we don't just want every stom, troll, and prank caller. Excuse me, ma'am, I'm calling from the power company. Is your refrigerator running? Okay, go check. Come back. Let me know. Yes, your refrigerator is running? Well, go catch it. So, can you give me a piece of paper and a Sharpie? Yeah, I need a Sharpie. So, thank you. Appreciate it. What would you like me to draw a picture of? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. That's not working. Let's do the call-in show. A lot of fun with the call-in show. People call on the Thursday night call-in show. Lots of fun on the call-in show. It's not always so fun, actually. Most of the calls are very serious. I end up like joking around and being weird, and then people call in with serious life issues, and I have to like shift gears and get serious. So, can you hold this up closer to the camera? Charity.com/RST. That's charity.com/RST. Charity.com/RST. And if I'm going to just check and see if anyone did a donation. Do a donation, we will read your dedication. Donation for any amount. You can give $1. Let's see. You held it up nice and close. Further back, further back, further back, further back, further back. Oh, there. Looks good. Okay. CharityWithAD.com/RST. That's CharityWithAD.com/RST. Donate any amount, and I will read your dedication live on the call-in show. Charity.com/RST. Let's do the call-in show. Thursday night call-in show. Somebody asked me, why is it called the Thursday night call-in show? I said, because it's a Thursday night kind of thing. You understand, as Jews, we are in sync with the rhythm of the weekly cycle. We're in sync with a lot of cycles. The solar cycle, yeah, the lunar cycle, and then there's the weekly cycle. The week, it's interesting because the solar cycle is, the sun. The lunar cycle is, the moon. And the weekly cycle is not really associated with any actual astronomical phenomena. By the way, that's one of my pet peeves, is when people use phenomena as a singular. They say, wow, that's a really cool phenomena. Well, no, it's a phenomenon. Plural phenomena. At any rate, anywho, the week, what is the week? It's not associated with any observable astronomical phenomena. The week is associated with metaphysical cycles of energy, the 6 days of work and the 7th day of rest, within which God created the world. It's something of a miracle that the entire world ubiquitously follows the 7-day biblical week. That wasn't always so. The Romans had a different structure. Ever heard of the Ides of March? So, pretty cool. At any rate, Thursday night is the last night of the weekdays. Tomorrow night will be Shabas. And this is the last night of the weekday, and this is sort of like the cleanup. We're wrapping it all up for the week. It's kind of like a hangout night. Some people call it Leil Shishi, the 6th night of the week. And it's got a Thursday night type of vibe. That's why we call it the Thursday night call-in show. Someone wrote in the chat, why do some people have easier lives and others have harder lives? And the easy people get respect, and the more suffering people get outcasted. It's a double hardship. Well, okay, that's not always true, that the easy people get respect. The people who have easy lives get respect, and the people who have hard lives get rejected. But it is sometimes true. It is often true. And you're right, when that does happen, that is a double hardship. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to share with you a secret. And that is, everybody has, get ready for this, exactly the same hardness of life. How's that possible? We see for ourselves. Some people have really hard lives. Some people have really easy lives. Well, because everything is in accordance with the person. The camel, according to his load. The donkey, according to his burden. Some people can only handle so much. Some people can handle more. Some people can handle less. Now you're going to say, well, I feel like I've been given more than I can handle. And I get you, brother. I feel that way often, too. Oh, boy. Sometimes it feels like, God is overestimating me. I heard somebody say, God will never give you a problem that you cannot bear, but I really wish he would stop having such a high opinion of me. I can definitely relate to that sentiment. At any rate, can I ask you a question, Rabbi? I'm just reading. Yeah, you could write whatever you want in the chat. I mean, if I think it's trolling, or if I don't like it, or if I think it's controversial, I won't read it. But it weighs heavy on my heart. I'm just reading it. Can I ask you a question, Rabbi? It weighs heavy on my heart. Okay, go ahead. I may not deem it appropriate conversation for the show. I hope you won't be offended. Not everything is appropriate for the show, but you could definitely write it here. You could ask it. How's everybody doing? How are we feeling? How are we feeling? We feeling good? Are we feeling good? What do I want to tell you about? What I want to tell you. Got very little sleep last night, maybe like 2 hours. That was, yeah. What's up, Yisrael? What's going on? Technical difficulties? Everything's smooth? Everything's good? Smooth. Okay, somebody's writing a heavy question in the chat, a question that weighs heavily on his heart. I'm looking to see if anyone donated so that I could read their donation dedication. CharityWithAD.com/RST. CharityWithAD.com/RST. There's no donations so far. Why don't I not see any donations? Okay. I believe I have FAS and HSP. How do I cope? I would have to Google FAS. I think HSP is highly sensitive person. I don't know what FAS is. Okay, this person says that they converted to Judaism a few years ago at 22 years old, and I felt a deep spiritual connection to the way of life that I now call my own. Went through a full conversion. Okay. All right. Doesn't the book of Eov disagree with your statement? The answer God gives is that you weren't around and I run everything. I don't think everyone has the same. How is that a contradiction? How is what I said a contradiction to what the sentiments of the book of Eov are? Not a contradiction. That, to the contrary, when God says you weren't, where were you when I formed the world? Meaning to say, if you could stand with me and have the perspective of seeing the world before it existed, then you would see how every single thing that happens has a place, part of the plan. Nothing is random. Nothing is excessive or superfluous or extra or haphazard. So, yeah, everyone has the same. What do you think that means? You think that literally means that everybody gets the same? No. It's like I explained. If a 10-ounce cup gets 12 ounces, it's going to overflow. But if a 12-ounce cup gets 12 ounces, it's not going to overflow. So if I tell you that I put 10 ounces in the 10-ounce cup and I put 12 ounces in the 12-ounce cup, they didn't get the same amount, but they're both full, and that means they are the same in that respect. You get what I'm saying? Everyone according to their capacity. What's the phone number to call in? I explained earlier, maybe you weren't on. We do not give out the phone number to call in because we don't want people calling in and saying, Baba Booey, Baba Booey. So what we do is, I'll explain it again. You can send an email to info@soulwords.org. You're going to say, that's too much trouble. I'm not even going to go to that trouble. Great. That's why we create this barrier to entry. We want to make it a little bit harder. You email info@soulwords.org with a 1-sentence, 2-sentence synopsis of what you want to talk about. We like that because it shows us it's a real person. I can basically tell when I see an email, I can tell if it's legitimate or not. And then if we feel like it's a good subject for the show, we give you the call-in number. That's how it works. What? No, it's fine. Info@soulwords.org. Info@soulwords.org. Okay, I'm still reading this thing. I was even circumcised, and even after everything, the Jewish community still doesn't consider me a full Jew. Okay, this was very hard for me spiritually. Okay. So, I mean, it's very hard for me to have this conversation in a chat, but what does it mean the Jewish community doesn't accept you? Like, you're saying, like, people's attitude towards you is they act towards you like you're not really welcomed, or they literally tell you, no, your conversion was not legitimate, we're not counting you in a minion. Like, I'm trying to distinguish. I mean, both things would be hurtful, but I just want to understand what you're describing. And I'm having a few conversations simultaneously in the chat at the same time. But why do some people have bigger cups, and what does that say about them? Why do some people have bigger cups? Why do some people have brown eyes? Why are some people right-handed and some people are left-handed? Everyone is created differently, my friend. Also, what source talks about this idea of everyone getting a full cup? No source. It was my metaphor. My goodness. I made up the metaphor of the full cup. But the source that I quoted before was from the Talmud, where I said the camel according to his load and the donkey according to his burden. Or there's other sources in the sages like Ein ani mevakesh ela lefi koicham. I'm only asking according to your capacity. Okay. So someone's saying he was converted in a conservative setting. Okay, so basically you were converted by a conservative bet din, and now what? You're going to an Orthodox synagogue, and they're telling you that the conservative conversion was not legitimate? Because if that's what's happening, it's very painful, and I get that, but I wouldn't take it personally. It's just, you know that that's the policy that they follow. I mean, it's not a personal thing against you. That's the policy that they follow. Those are the standards that they have. Rabbi, what is self-destruction? Why do I have a self-destructive streak within me? I'm a very creative person and often wonder if creativity has a destructive side. Ooh, that is an interesting topic to explore. Today's topic, self-destruction. It really ain't the rap audience that's bugging. Some of you suckers, ignorant brothers trying to rob and steal from one another. Google that, and you tell me what that is. Someone who tell me in the chat what I just said, and you will impress me. I think there is a very deep link between self-destructive tendencies and creativity, and I'll tell you why. Creative people are sensitive people, generally speaking. They feel things deeply. Well, when you feel things deeply, sometimes that feeling of just existence being too intense, existence itself just being too intense, and you just want to blot it out. That's why a lot of creative people, like a lot of artists, are addicts, because they want that self-numbing. You just want to check out. So that's where that self-destructive tendency comes from. It's the misguided attempt to curb the intensity of feeling that hypersensitive people have. Does that make sense? You get what I'm saying? Get what I'm saying? Okay. Let me go check on the donations. Oh, we have a caller waiting? Okay, so I'm going to put on the headphones. Where are the headphones? Okay. All right, and if you want to donate, it's at charity.com/RST. Charity.com/RST. And our first caller is on the line. Adena, are you with us?
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for calling in. I always am grateful that people choose to do this. And it generally benefits a lot of people.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, okay. All right. So we're both thankful to each other that we're here, and I'm sure the listeners are all thankful. And what are we talking about tonight?
Neurodivergence for a change.
For a change. Okay. You're joking because you're saying I've been talking about that a lot lately, right?
Well, I guess we both have.
Okay. All right. So
yeah.
Why is it coming up
Rabbi
so
Taub
often?
and myself.
Yes.
Well, it's coming up a lot because as a neurodivergent mother with at least one neurodivergent children, it comes up because it's related to everything.
Yeah.
It comes out in everything and presents challenges that, I mean, of course, the gifts as well, but it presents also the challenges that are mostly unseen to the outside world or to the neurotypical world, and often has me, even though I think I've come a long way, but has me kind of questioning, how much of this can I handle?
That's interesting. Were you listening before I picked up your call?
No.
Somebody was asking me about how come different people have different degrees of challenges in life. And I said, we believe that the camel is loaded according to its strength, and the donkey is loaded according, it gets a burden according to its capacity, and that everybody is given what they can handle. And then I mentioned, as an aside, I said, somebody once told me, God will never give you anything he doesn't think you can't handle, but I wish he would stop thinking so highly of me.
All right. Yeah.
So God's been thinking highly of you lately. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, apparently, if you've been given greater challenges, then that's a recognition that you were given a greater capacity. I mean, that's a fundamental belief.
Yeah, but I think I feel like my question is really seeing myself as being one of the bigger challenges, the way that I operate and the way that I think about things and the way that I and sort of process information differently.
Yes.
As being sometimes feeling like my own biggest obstacle.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Basically, what you're saying is, look, there are different types of challenges in life. Like, some challenges are you objectively have a problem. There's this issue in your life that's outside of you, and you have to either, get around it or go through it or get away from it. But what you're saying is your problem is not something outside of you. It is not only is it inside of you, it is you. It's like it's a part of you. Maybe it's not even a part of you, because like to say it's a part of you implies like you could like section it off and put it somewhere. Like it is you. It is
right.
it is who you are. It's your wiring. And when the problem is in a particular area, when you could point at it and say that's the problem, so then you could also say, okay, so like don't go there, right? But when you're saying no, my problem is the way that my brain is wired. There's an expression, wherever you go, there you are.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the problem is everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get no rest from it.
Right. And I think also, maybe on a more specific level, because I didn't really articulate this, but as a Jewish female, I feel like there are certain expectations as far as, I guess, executive functioning and skills that we are assumed to have, that are things that these are just areas that I feel like I always fall short in, even though I know that this is how I was, this is sort of, it's like me by design. So I know that I have strengths in other areas, and I can connect to my kids in very, I think, interesting ways. So I'm not downplaying that. It's just more like practically, especially with like with each kid that I've had, thank God it's like more stuff to juggle.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering kind of what is Rabbi Taub's thought on that,
just to fill everybody in, because I just want to translate it a little bit for you. When you're talking about the expectations of a Jewish woman, you're talking about being a balabosta, you're talking about being able to somehow make Shabas it's Thursday night, by the way, and prepare Shabas meals. No stress, it's okay, don't worry. Prepare Shabas meals and to have your kids dressed nice and cute with matchy outfits for Shabas, and to have
Right.
guests, and to have family come for Pesach, and to stay over and to entertain. You're getting stressed. I hear it. I feel the stress from you just talking about it. Yeah, just breathe.
Right.
Just breathe. It's okay. It's not really happening. I'm just talking about it. Okay, so let's talk.
I am
about
having
this.
guests for Shabas, and I
Good
do.
for you.
I just.
All right.
Yeah, but it's not what it looks like in someone else's house. I know this is not okay to talk like that.
It is
okay.
It's
just not.
Why is it not okay?
It's just not. It's not the way.
No.
Well,
we're gonna do. Can you do something with me tonight? Can we start something? Can we do something that will be a boon for the mental health of Jewish women?
Oh.
We're going.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna start to break a stigma, because.
Oh.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna start to break that stigma, because feeling the pressure to live up to a very particular image of what being a balabasta looks like is choking people to death. We're gonna break that stigma, and we're gonna say it is okay to talk the way you're talking. It is okay to feel the way you're feeling. It is okay for your home to look however it looks, and you're doing your best. And as long as your children feel loved, do your children feel loved?
I think so.
Okay, that's huge. That's everything. That's everything.
Thank God.
That's everything. That's everything.
Well, yeah, but I can't focus on both, so I just do one.
Okay, and when you have to pick one or the other, which one do you pick?
I know. Well, that's why I'm doing it.
Do you make the hearts of palm avocado salad with the or do you play with your kid?
No, I play with them.
Good. That's the right choice. That's the right choice. And you go.
Thanks to Rabbi Taub.
You're giving me credit. Why do I get credit?
Oh, because that. Thanks to Rabbi Taub. I know that that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
You go to the grocery store and you go get yourself some hummus and some Spanish eggplant and some herring, and that's it. Everything's fine.
But the guilt that comes with I bought takeout. I'm so guilty this week.
Takeout,
and
great.
I usually don't. It's
What's
so not okay.
It is okay. It's 100% okay. Where does it say in Shulchan Aruch? Where does it say in the Code of Jewish Law? You're supposed to honor Shabbos. You are honoring Shabbos. You eat something nicer than you would normally eat, something different than you normally eat. Where does it say you have to slave away and make yourself exhausted and not take care of your kids?
I don't know.
Where does it say that? These are all cultural things. Let's talk. Okay, this is Inside Baseball. I don't know who my audience is. Like, a lot of people listening are not necessarily Jewish, let alone like part of this Orthodox community. But I'm going to go on a soapbox for a minute. And unless you're part of the Orthodox Jewish community, you probably won't relate to this. But there are a lot of standards that people feel intense pressure to live up to. And those standards have nothing to do with Torah. They're not even, forget about being halacha. They're not even minhag. They're literally just cultural things that have zero value in terms of Torah's emes. I know I'm speaking very yeshivish, very inside baseball. Anybody who's not part of this community is completely lost. But you know what? If this saves one Jewish mother from feeling like a failure because she doesn't have the broccoli salad with the cashews and the purple onions in it, you know that salad, right? If you don't have that, you're a failure, right? I'm glad at least somebody's laughing. Okay? You are a good Jew. I want to tell you something. God loves you even if you don't have the the sushi salad, the 5-layer sushi salad. Hashem still loves you even if you don't have what are the other show-offy salads? What?
Carrot chips.
Pistachio salmon? You don't have to have pistachio salmon to be loved by Hashem. You know what I'm talking about? The whole side of the salmon is like covered in pistachio, crunchy crust. You don't need that. Hashem will still love you. You don't, what else? So give me some more ideas. Open up one of these like cookbooks, one of these Frum cookbooks, and just start whipping out recipes. What else? So, give me another one. Yisrael, you have another? You're trying to think? Ramen noodle salad? Oh, spinach. You don't, Hashem will still love you if you don't have a baby spinach salad with crunched up ramens and soy sauce and honey. And Hashem will still love you, even if you don't have that. Hashem will love you if you take a bag of Bodic lettuce and pour it in a bowl and squirt some Thousand Island on top, and Hashem will still love you. What I'm enjoying right now is that you're cracking up, because literally no one else listening to this is enjoying this. Like, what is he talking? This is bizarre. I'm not following this whatsoever. But you know what? If one person, and in this case, I know who the one person is, it's you, so that's it. I'm glad you're enjoying. But can you think about how ridiculous that is, that like the pressure to create these really, really like highly culturally specific dishes? Like, by the way, I could just illustrate to you how specific this stuff is. Your grandmother never heard of these salads. I don't know if she was neurodivergent or not neurodivergent. Did she ever hear of these salads? They never heard of this. They never heard of it. Like the pressure to conform to these really super specific cultural standards. These are completely fabricated, made up things. So, listen, I can't help you that like being in school was probably torture for you, because that's what school is. Uh-huh. School is, never be resentful at school, because school is an institution. What did you expect? You expected more from school. So if you tell me that school was absolute torture for you, I get it, because that's the whole thing. It's designed to be torture. But you're an adult. You can do whatever you want. I want to tell you something. I'm 100% serious right now. If your husband's cool with it, tomorrow night, you want to eat cereal, you want to eat Fruity Pebbles at your Shabas table, it's 100% fine. Okay, now, just to make sure that you don't think I'm like not religious or something, you make Kiddush, okay? And your Kaveya Suda, that means you have to actually have a meal. That means you have to wash. You have to have Lechem Mishnah. Lechem Mishnah is a real thing. Some people even say it's a deraisa. So I'm not joking around with halacha. Things that are real. Yeah, okay, you're going to wash and you have Lechem Mishnah. Okay, no, it doesn't have to be sourdough bread with the whole granola thing smeared to the side. It could just be regular. It could be a box of Manischewitz matzahs. And then you want to go serve Fruity Pebbles. You can serve fruit. Oh, what, fish and flesh? Okay, that's if that's Einik Shabbos for you. If it's Einik Shabbos, then you can do it. But you want to serve, everyone's going to eat Fruity Pebbles. Be my guest. I think that you should actually, you know what I think you should do? Not that you should be on social media or anything, but I think if you are already on social media, I think you should take a picture right before candle lighting, obviously before candle lighting, you can't take a picture after candle lighting, of your Shabbos table with milk and Fruity Pebbles, and post it on Instagram and say, like, this is my, and just do it just to break the stigma, to shatter those superimposed artificial expectations that have nothing to do with anything that matters. How you like that?
Well, I'm just imagining my mother-in-law's reaction.
Okay, let's talk about it. Your mother-in-law doesn't have a sense of humor? Not about those things.
For that?
Okay, those things are very
For that,
serious.
I'm not. I'm not so sure.
Okay, so she takes those things very seriously.
Yeah.
And by
And
the way,
also,
you
yeah.
you can respect that
Yeah.
about her. Like if she's a real
Yeah.
balabusta, you can compliment her and say,
Yeah.
Schwiger, you're amazing. Like what you do, you're so
Yeah.
it's so amazing. Like, and you can, it's okay to genuinely be impressed with and admire people for qualities that you don't yourself value having yourself. Everyone can be different.
So I do, and I think I'm pretty expressive about it. But there's a lot of sophisticated sophisticated Shabas tables in the family.
Yeah.
And maybe that's where some of the...
You said sophisticated Shabas table?
Yeah.
You're saying like the level.
Sophisticated menus, the menus and the presentations and it's like maybe on the, more extreme side of higher than average level of culinary focus and culinary impressiveness.
Like charcuterie boards?
No, not that type. Just really involved,
intricate
recipes with presentation and hard work.
Handmade strudel.
Steps, just lots of not. All I see is steps.
Yeah.
They make me think of steps.
Yeah. Right. And that makes your brain melt.
I'm just confused. I can't wrap my head around how anybody follows that many steps.
Yeah. What do you do that's special? Like, what do you do, specifically as a Jewish mother, that is special, meaning it's not common? Like, what do you bring? I don't want to say bring
for Shabbat.
I don't want to say bring to the table because I want to get away from the table. No, Shabbos or anything. Like, tell me about your special qualities that you excel in, as far as just anything that you do in your home for your family that you're proud of, that you think you do well, and that not everybody does.
Probably like I mean, I try really hard to put a lot of time and effort into, my relationship with my kids.
Tell me about that.
I think I'm very deliberate about,
your interactions with them.
Yeah, just like interactions and really trying to do it, trying to break some pretty bad cycles.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you're saying you're very careful about how you interact with your children. You're watching yourself.
Like
carefully.
I put a lot of energy into like regulating, like self-regulation, and just trying to like I take it, I take like the job pretty seriously, so
you're talking about,
I feel like
you're on top of your game, or you try to be on top of your game, as far as like not only avoiding the negative stuff like snapping at your kids or whatever, taking out your stress on them, but even trying to focus on the positive stuff, like having connecting with them in a way that makes them feel cared for and shows them that you understand them.
Like trying to spend a lot of one-on-one time, as much as I can, obviously, and paying attention to the things that are important to them, and trying to remember the little things that they told me, and trying to if they really like something, to remember that they really want a certain thing, to eat a certain thing on Shabbos, either to make that the thing that I prioritize making, or if it's like a candy or something, to try to pick it up before, that type of thing.
So in other words, not to just make a dish that's fancy and impressive, but to go out of your way to get the dish that will be meaningful to a particular member of your family.
Yeah. I mean, I try.
You try. Okay. By the way, somebody's writing in the chat, and I want to push back very hard. Someone wrote in the chat, the challenge is when you value tradition so much and it's hard to let go. Were you listening to anything I said? I said this is not tradition. This has nothing to do with tradition. These dishes were all made up 10 years ago. Your bubby never heard of these things. Why is this guy telling me tradition? Go talk to your fiddler on the roof with your tradition. I don't want to hear about it. All right. Someone wrote in the chat, by the way, sounds like you're a wonderful mother. I agree. I concur.
Oh.
Yes. I mean, some internet stranger. You have no idea. This could be some creep, by the way. Don't get too flattered, but okay. But I say you're a wonderful mother, and I think I'm a normal person, so I think my compliment should mean something.
Thank
you. All right. No, but really, I mean, let's be serious. You're talking about here, and I'm taking your words at face value, and it has a ring of truth to it. I mean, it doesn't sound like you're making this up. It sounds like something that really you have put a lot of effort into. Listen, I pick things up, okay? I don't know you, but I can pick some stuff up here, okay? You made a decision. I don't know if it was like there was a turning point in your life where you made this decision or it was a gradual thing, but you made a commitment. Your children are going to be raised with a certain amount of love and security and safety, emotional safety. And you've been living up to that commitment that you made to yourself. And I want to tell you, any parent who actually takes parenting seriously would consider that incredibly successful and would have a great deal of admiration for you. So, I really think that you need to give yourself permission to stop worrying about all of the artificially constructed social pressure and continue to focus your energy where you've chosen to put it, which I think is the best investment, the best possible area in which you can invest your energy is in forging a meaningful bond with your children. And not only should you give yourself like an exemption and forgive yourself and say you're okay, but I think, yes, it would be actually appropriate for you to be proud of yourself and to say, you know what? I'm a great mom. I could be better. I could be even better. We could always grow. We could always be even better, but I'm a great mom. I'm not second best. I'm not some type of nebuch. I'm actually very proud of myself. And if you can't do it for yourself, do it because by divine providence, you are on a public forum and people are listening. And I don't know how old you are, but for the 25-year-old girl who is just starting to realize what she got herself into and is feeling over her head and overwhelmed, and she hears you say with sincerity, you know what? I ordered takeout for Shabas, but you know what? My kids feel loved, and I'm a great mom. And you can say that with sincerity, even if you can't do it for yourself, but say it for that young woman who may be listening.
Right now?
Well, yeah, because people are listening. I mean, if you say it after you hang up, then it won't really have the same effect. I mean, you don't have to say it if it's like forced. If you're not feeling it, you don't have to say it.
I think I need to sit with it.
Okay, fair enough. I hope that you will take it seriously, that's something, we do need to break a stigma. It's not a joke. This pressure is causing a lot of unwarranted grief, a lot of unnecessary grief. And if we can push back against it as a society, as a community, it'll make life a lot better for our kids. You're already a cycle breaker. You're a cycle breaker already, right? I know that. So I want to give you a promotion that not only should you be a family cycle breaker, but you could be a cycle breaker on an even larger scale, on a community scale. You can start to show yourself as a model for others of what a loving, devoted Jewish wife and mother looks like.
Wait, what? So I have to say it on air?
No. I'm going to make it even harder for you. You said you have to sit with it. You're not ready to say it on the air right now. But what you should do, in my humble opinion, is start to be a little bit, start to consider yourself as a role model. I don't mean that you have to go take out a billboard and advertise how you live, but I mean, if by divine providence there are people that you cross paths with, I'm talking about other women, and you can set an example for them that would be liberating for them, I think you should feel a duty to do that. In other words, instead of bemoaning the pressures that exist, fight back against those pressures for the sake of other women.
How do you do that with relatives, though?
That's a delicate issue.
When everybody's everyone is Betty Crocker. Everyone.
I mean, I don't want to. I'm very hesitant to get into this, a live call on the air. But I mean, is your husband okay with the fact that you're not Betty Crocker?
Yeah.
So that's all that matters. Betty Crocker. Yeah, Betty Crocker. Yeah, I guess so. Was Betty Crocker a real person? Betty Crocker. I'm looking in the chat right now. Thank you, Rabbi Taub. This mom is inspiring. And I know who wrote that, by the way. I know this person. She's also a hardworking Jewish mother. She wrote, it's Rhonda. Hi, Rhonda. She said that you're inspiring. Oh, Adena, you're a big-time winner. Kol HaKavod. And it's from my friend Tamir Goodman, the Jewish Jordan. Good friend of mine. A basketball player and coach, a mentor to many young people. And when he says you're a big-time winner, he's a very competitive guy, a very successful guy, and he knows what he's talking about. Just strolling through the comments. When you put your head on your hand, Rabbi, away from the mic, your voice becomes a little softer. You mean like this? Softer like this? The point of Shabas candles is Shalom Bayis. If you have the fanciest things but no Shalom Bayis, you don't have Shabbos, in my opinion. Great point. I'm just looking at the comments. Salsa and chips for the win. Oh, and I know who wrote that, by the way. The guy who wrote that actually is manager of a kosher grocery store. So as long as you buy them from the right store, by the way, I buy all of my Shabbos and weekday fare from CallSave. My favorite kosher grocery, CallSave. Is it in Lawrence? Where is it in Lawrence? CallSave in Lawrence, New York. That's where I buy all my stuff. They get all the good stuff. Rabbi, could you explain briefly? I know volumes have been written about this. The difference between that's not okay. Maybe I'll get back to that. But True. I remember takeout as a kid on Shabas, but lighting the candles is unforgettable, even if as a kid you don't grasp the full meaning. You feel extra pressure from stigma than children feel extra stigma pressure. It does harm at the end of the day. Sounds like a good shalom bias all around. This gives me hope for myself one day. Okay. All right. And as you got a lot of support, Adena, you got a lot of support out there from people whose opinion, I mean, I know these people. These are good people. They're not just it's not just idle chatter over here. People respect what you're doing. I respect what you're doing. And I'm trying to actually recruit you to fight the good fight and to make it easier for all the young women coming up behind you.
Fruity Pebbles it is.
Fruity Pebbles, salsa, and corn chips, and whatever you got to do. You have children who are emotionally safe and feel loved. There is nothing greater than that. There's nothing greater that a human being can accomplish in a lifetime than raising children who feel emotionally safe and loved. And I promise you that not having 20 different salads on the Shabas table does not make one bit of difference whatsoever. I think you inspired a lot of people, I think especially on a Thursday night. I promise you, even if we're not seeing it in the comments, there's some other balabusta on a Thursday night who's freaking out because it's 10:30 New York time on a Thursday night, and she just decided, you know what? I'm going to be cool like Adena. I'm going to the store. I'm going to buy some salads. I'm not going to make my own challah. It's fine. It's all going to be good. I'm going to spend some extra time with my kids. Make sure that they feel loved. Okay, I think this is a very productive call, but I would like you to follow up with me when you have the opportunity to make a difference for someone else. Please let me know about it, because I will feel gratified that there was a ripple effect from our conversation.
Sounds good.
Okay, I got another caller waiting, so
Thank
we got
you.
to move on. But that was an awesome call. Thank you so much. And
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Keep in touch.
Okay.
Have a very restful Shabbos. It's Rosh Chodesh also.
Yeah.
Okay, be well.
Thank you.
Yeah, good night. Okay, our next caller on the line is Shoshana. Are you there? Are you with us? Hello. What? 1 second. Yisrael says, just wait 1 second. You can talk loud. It's okay. We're very informal here. What? We want to wish a happy birthday to a dear friend of SoulWords, my personal friend, Mendel Mintz, who turns 30 years old. We want to wish him good health and happiness, continued success in all of his endeavors, both publicly and personally. And God willing, actually, I will see Reb Mendel next week in Baltimore. And I don't know if that's if we can get information about that event, but maybe we'll share information about that event if it's okay to share publicly here on this forum. But at any rate, happy birthday, Mendel Mintz, a real friend, a true friend, a personal friend. And we also want to direct your attention to the website, miriamslegacy.org. That is, and I'm going to type it here, miriamslegacy.org. That's the website. I think there's information about the event. Miriam's Legacy is named for Mendel's late wife, Miriam, whose first yahrzeit is coming up next week. Dalid of an incredible woman. We're just talking to a Jewish wife and mother a moment ago, talking about the strength of Jewish women. And I personally knew Miriam, Aleha Shalom, and she was a very special dugma chaya of a strong, proud Jewish woman. And her memory should be a blessing. And we wish revealed brachas of all manners of good to Mendel on today, on his birthday. Okay. Now, what am I supposed to do with it? Okay, you're supposed to take care. Okay. They're paying for the Uber? Okay, fine. Shkayach. All right. Do we have the next caller on the phone? Okay, Shoshana, hello.
Hi, Rabbi Taub. How are you doing this evening?
Baruch Hashem, I'm doing well. So, what are we talking about tonight?
Well, I just want to say something about your previous caller. That was such an inspiring.
Awesome?
That was just so awesome that, she may not be a Betty Crocker, but in my book, she's a Betty Knocker.
Oh, there you go. I like it. Very good.
Oh, that was so special. Yeah.
So yeah.
So what's with me? I just had my 70th birthday, and thank you. It's a wonder to be alive. And I consider myself a BTIP, in progress. Raised, completely secularly.
BTIT, I'm assuming, is Baal Teshuvah in training?
In progress, IP.
Oh, IP, in progress. Okay, fine.
Yes.
Right. Not a finished product yet.
Not a finished product,
well,
exactly.
Still have time.
From your mouth to God's ears. So it's, when you come to taking this return around the river, I won't say return around the river, and you're not, in college or high school or, in the dating world or young professional, I have a life behind me. I've raised children, they're grown. My relationships, as I have changed. I didn't expect to change so much on the inside, but that appears to be what is happening, and things have changed in some of the relationships in my life that are very meaningful, and there's not a whole lot out there, in terms of advice, support, the way forward, the path for people who do this later in life, as there is for younger people. So, I'll just to give you a flavor of what I'm talking about. My women friendships have always been very important to me. I bring people together. That's what I do in my life. And at the Reform Shul that I had belonged to, a decade and a half ago or more, I developed a circle of close women friends that we actually even called ourselves, sisters. And these women, they're wonderful people. When my parents both, passed away, they were there for me in every way you can imagine. But when things started to change for me, keeping kosher and keeping Shabas, it really has strained some of those relationships, and our worldviews have changed. So an example of that would be, I had one of these friends ask me, really, I'm not exaggerating when I say, she said, "Don't you feel like a second-class citizen sitting on one side of the mechitza?" and it hurt me. It wasn't a question of like, what is your experience of the mechitza? Right. What is your experience of having moved from one way of davening to another? It was just as I said. Yeah. So that's kind of an example. Another quick example is within, I don't know, around the first anniversary of October 7th, the first year, we were sitting around. I actually had invited people over for a Shabas luncheon, and these women were over for Shabas luncheon, and we were talking about the situation in the Middle East. And one of the women said, well, what happens next to the hostages is up to Israel. And I just like flinched, and I'm like, what? This person very sympathetic, and not that we shouldn't be sympathetic to whatever innocent lives are being lost. It's a terrible situation, but the sense of primary identity not being with the hostages and their families, but like Israel's responsible for their fate. No, the people who took them are, what are you talking about? And this is called, and because I'm a IP, and I'm not in the city, I'm sort of, I'm in a location that doesn't have even one kosher restaurant. So, and I don't, the city that's nearby that has an Erev, I'm not even there, I'm elsewhere. So I'm not, whatever small, more observant community there is, I'm limited to my beautiful, beloved Chabad Shluchim families. There's two generations of families that serve us here where I am, and I can't say enough. I'm going to get choked for Klempt here. I can't say enough wonderful things about what these people have brought to so many lives, mine own included. But it's a little lonely, and I sort of feel, like I'm sort of stuck on the bridge. I haven't fully crossed over, and I'm not even sure what that looks like, and I'm not really where I started, and things are kind of falling off the bridge. Mm-hmm. So it's not the biggest issue, but it is an issue. I have to just say one thing. I am married, and my husband, for the longest time, I've been going, doing my best to keep Shabbos at home, and he wasn't on board for a really long time. And I just, Baruch Hashem, I cannot tell you, my shluchim have just counseled me so when I would go and say, I'm frustrated because, he doesn't want this, he doesn't want that, I was told, do not go home and fight about Judaism. Mm-hmm. Just whatever you do, go home and make it beautiful for him.
That's right.
And he now comes to shul with me every Shabbos.
Beautiful.
He puts on tefillin when he's asked. He used to fight them off like with a bat. Now he glows. It's so, I have wonderful things to be grateful for, but these intimate friendships, really intimate friendships, are not what they've changed, and I really don't know what to do about it, if there is anything to do about it. So that's what I'm hoping you can shed some light on.
Yeah. There are different seasons to friendships. Friendships are not a static thing. People are in our lives at different times, in different ways. And I think it's natural. Maybe you've been very lucky in the past, I'm not sure, but I mean, most people don't have the experience of having their friend group remain the same group of people for their entire lives. I mean, what I'm saying is, it's a natural thing to outgrow a friendship. There's another discussion, which is that you may feel slighted. I'm not saying that to minimize it, but you might feel hurt that these are people that you thought you were close with, and you would have hoped that even if they didn't share your views, but at the very least they would be more respectful of your views. That's another discussion. But we don't stay in one place. The people around us change. That's just part of life. Now, my question would be like, it sounds like you're very bonded with shluchim in your area.
Mm-hmm.
My question would be, though, did you form a new peer group in your new shul? And something is making me think maybe not.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, this is a small community,
right?
So
there's nice people, but it's not like you have the sisters anymore. Like that was a very specific
thing.
The
intimacies.
Yeah.
Yes, intimate friendships.
Who know each other very well for a very long time, and you have that history. You don't have that now.
Right.
Okay. So, you're in a new phase in life, and it's time to make new friends.
Wow.
It's like,
that's not what I was expecting to hear.
Was it so shocking? What do you think I was going to say?
No, I thought maybe you'd have like a magic Band-Aid that
no,
make everything better.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Your parents picked up and they moved, and now you started a new school, and you're gonna have to make new friends. Did you ever move when you were a kid? Did you ever have to change schools?
Oh, awful, terrible. Two terrible experiences.
Oh, I think maybe this is related to that. How old were you when you first moved?
First time, the first time I was 9, and I was raised in, I don't know if this is meaningful to you, but the Weequahic section of Newark, New Jersey. That's the Newark that Philip Roth writes about. Like almost, when I was there, almost 100, I mean, I didn't know anyone who wasn't Jewish until we moved, literally.
You grew up in Newark.
But it was in Newark, yes.
Before 67.
Yeah. Yeah, we moved in 60, well, I forget, but yeah.
Right, so it was very, very Jewish.
100%. And then, so I was 9 when we moved. That was a shock. First of all, we moved in the middle of the school year. So I had to walk into a classroom, not the first day of school. It was hard to socially integrate, a whole bunch of things. And then the second time we moved, I was 13, I think. And again, in the middle of the school year into, middle school. That was also unpleasant.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever end up making friends after you moved?
Yeah, eventually. But by the time I graduated high school, I had a nice little squad.
Mm-hmm. But it took a while.
It took a while. Yeah, it did take a while.
Okay, but you know how to do this.
I mean, maybe. I gather people together. This is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I've done this every place I've wound up. People wind up at my house being fed. I think you opened a door in my mind to thinking about some of the, the people that I've met. In fact, there's myself and two other grandma age, we women in our 60s and 70s. We volunteer at the kids club, the Chabad Sunday Hebrew school. We do the Hebrew practice. We do the reading with the kids, and we've called ourselves the Bubby Brigade. And we made a deal that next year, once a month, we're going to get together for coffee after we finish with the kids.
All right, there you go.
I'm really looking forward to that. I didn't think of things this way. You just, you really did just open the door in my mind.
Okay, I didn't think I said anything so innovative.
I was focused, like, what do they say? I was looking over my shoulder or in the rearview mirror, and I forgot to look through the windshield.
Right. You're so focused on hanging on to what was that you weren't seeing the things in front of you that are coming at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
I have a big smile on my face.
Good.
I really have a big smile on my face.
Good.
Thank you.
My pleasure. That's great. Okay, so keep gathering people.
Yeah.
You know who else gathered people?
Who?
There's a parsha called Vayakel. Vayakel Moshe. Moses gathered people.
Yeah.
So we don't have any greater role model than Moshe Rabbeinu, than our teacher Moses, and he gathered people. So, you should continue to gather people.
I'm going to try.
God gave you an opportunity to have a new challenge.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm very excited for the prospects of creating new groups.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. Thank you for this incredible program that you do. Touches so many people. It's really very unique, and I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling in. Okay, be well. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Amazing. Wonderful caller. Wonderful, wonderful caller. Always blown away by the quality of discourse that takes place here. We really do. We're blessed that we have such wonderful people calling and sharing so openly and honestly. Yisrael, I'm just checking the email. Yisrael, come here. Could you type in the call-in number? Let's call in the call-in show. Let's call in the call-in show. Let's call in the call-in show. Calling in the call-in show. Everybody gotta call into the call-in show. Are you sending me the number so I can stop singing? What? I know. I see you texting it. Text to me already. Please. Calling to the call-in show. Calling to the call-in show. We got to call into the call-in show. Call into the call-in show. I'm responding to someone's email right now. What? Call into the call-in show. Call into the call-in show. Call into the call-in show. Why would anyone call a call-in show when the guy who answers your call is a wacko who sings like... Why would you do that? Why would you call with serious questions to some weirdo crooning, call into the CallIn show? Call it to the CallIn show. I'm responding to emails right now. Call into the CallIn show. Call it to the CallIn show. Ba 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 da da ba. Ba ba da ba ba ba. Ba da da ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Looking in the chat. Hey, Rabbi, a friend of mine has led me to your channel. I love your honesty, and I love to see someone who enjoys talking about God. I do enjoy talking about God. I do. I do. And I want to tell you something. I endeavor not only to talk about God, but to talk to God. Sometimes, I'm going to be serious again. Sometimes we talk about God a lot. We philosophize and pontificate, and that can be fun. It can even be meaningful. But we forget to talk to God, which means personal relationship with God. That means turning to God in times of trouble, in times of joy, speaking what's on our heart, and that's really, really important, especially for intellectual people who love to get into deep ideas, and we can fall into that trap of talking a lot about God, but forgetting to talk to God. Someone wrote in the chat, 3 weeks a cappella. That's right. This is 3 weeks a cappella. I'm going to preserve Jaime's anonymity. There's a baby in the studio, but we don't put our babies online on social media. But there is a baby. My grandson is here, but what? I'll tell you a story. Want to hear a story? I'll tell you a story. I told a story on this show, I don't remember if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, about Jaime's mommy, Malka Bela, my daughter-in-law. She was at an event here at the SoulWords house. Oh, this really grinds my gears. So Malka Bela, my daughter-in-law, she was at an event here at the SoulWords house. We're in the basement of the SoulWords house, in the video studio, but upstairs is the event space where we do events. So there was a Yud Aleph Nissen event. That's the Rebbe's birthday, Yud Aleph Nissen. And at the end of the event, so Malka sang for the women. And I told this story a couple weeks ago. When did I tell this story? Last week or 2 weeks ago? Last week. And Malki was nervous, and so she was staring at the picture of the Rebbe that's on the wall at the SoulWords house. And then after everybody left, she walked by the picture, and the picture of the Rebbe is the Rebbe is giving a child a coin. And she walked by the picture, and she heard a clang on the floor, and there was a coin on the floor, mysteriously, inexplicably. So I told that story, and I'm going to pull it up, actually. But Yisrael, you have to make sure that I control myself and that I don't get too agitated over here. Can you do me a favor? Okay. So let's see. No, it wasn't last week. It must have been 2 weeks ago. I'm looking at last week. Okay, I'm going to look at 2 weeks ago. Oh, here it is. Here's the comment. So someone writes a comment. Why was Malki staring at the Rebbe picture? Doesn't smell right. Jews don't do idolatry. Let's talk about it. What? You see, the word idolatry is them's fighting words. Idolatry is a very serious accusation. We frown upon idolatry, to say the least. As you correctly write in your comment, the only thing that you wrote correct in your comment was Jews don't do idolatry. That's right. We don't do idolatry. How is looking at a picture of someone idolatry? Do you ever look at pictures of people? Or you don't have any pictures of people? Do you have pictures of your family in your house? Or you don't have that because you're afraid it's idolatry? And let me ask you this. If Malki were looking at the audience, would that be idolatry? If she was looking at the people in front of her, would that be idolatry? How is looking at a person or a picture of a person idolatry? Please, don't throw words around like that. Please. Like, watch what you say. Monitor your language. You don't go around throwing around words like that. That's like... I need to control myself here. All right. Here are some talking points from Malka Bela, my genius daughter-in-law. If I looked at the audience, would that be Avodah Zarah, idolatry? Please explain what is idolatry about this. That is a very serious accusation. You have pictures at home of people you love. Do you ever look at those pictures, or is that idolatry? Being inspired by looking at a picture of a holy person is idolatry? Show me one source for that. Do you even know what you are saying, or stam? Someone's writing in the chat. Is this still live? Yeah, it's 11 o'clock on the dot. Do you know where your children are? Boop. I want to know what I can do to make it easier in spirituality. When I was hurt by it when I was a child and a teenager because of my dyslexia, I was hurt by the educational system. Yep, that's a common, yeshiva trauma is a common challenge. You got to learn how to separate people's behaviors from God, and don't let people ruin Yiddishkeit for you, even if they purported to represent Yiddishkeit. Someone wrote in the chat a cracking up emoji, but I'm wondering what the crack up emoji was about. What was the crack up? What was crack up worthy? ALOL, as the kids say. Actually laughing out loud. Yisrael, did anyone call in the number? Not yet, because I sent a couple of people the number through email. Calling to the CallIn show. Everybody's got to call into the CallIn show. The whole world needs to call into the CallIn show. Call into the CallIn show. What? Beatboxing? Yeah. You know who the greatest beatboxer was? Biz Markie, and he died. Passed away. Biz Markie. Nobody wrote in the chat what it was when I said today's topic, self-destruction. Nobody wrote in the chat. It was like an hour ago. 2 hours, no, hour and a half ago. Today's topic, self-destruction. It really isn't the rap audience that's bugging. Some of you suckers, ignorant. Boop, 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 ba da ba. Ya da 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 dee dee dee. Today's Hayom Yom. We're going to read the Hayom Yom. Today's topic is self-destruction. Yeah. Well, we were talking about self-destruction before because somebody asked. Was it you, actually? Somebody asked about why artistic and creative people have a self-destructive bent. And so I said, today's topic, self-destruction. Hayem Yem. Chof Ches Tammuz. L'chol echad maharabayim hayu maimarim kvuyim beyichud bishvil zeh. The Tar Avera Elam. All of the Rabbeim, the Rebbes of Chabad, had a maimer, a Hasidic discourse they used to say to purify the air. Asher pam b'shtayim ish b'shalosh shanim hayu chezrim aleim berabim. And every 2 or 3 years they would recite that discourse publicly. Echad maimarei Rabbeinu Azakin heichaltzu shebelakutei Torah bli ha'agoyis. One of the Alter Rebbe's maimarim that was said for that purpose was the maimer heichaltzu in Lakutei Torah without the hagoyis, without the glosses. Echad maimarei admor hemtzoi yofa sho'achas v'teichne asara prokem ereshenim de dibra maschel hine kol echad ve'echad eimer elekai neshama. The Mittler Rebbe, one of his maimarim, he would say repeatedly to refine the air, was the maimer Yofer Sho'achas, which is identical to the content of the first 10, not the first 10, but 10 chapters of, the first 10 chapters of a certain section in the Sefer Derech Chaim. Echad memamori atzemach tzedek matevu shel Lakutei Torah. One of the tzemach tzedek's maimarim was called matevu in Lakutei Torah. Echad memamori Adena Avi zikni meiri v'Rebbe, the Rebbe Marash michamecha be'elim. Echad memamori Adena Avi meiri v'Rebbe, one of the Rebbe Shabas maimarim, v'yadaita hayem Moskve reish nun zayin. We have a caller on the phone. All right. 1 second. I just want to look in the... I get annoyed when people accuse Chassidim of Avodah Zarah to Rebbeim. Yes, me too. Rabbi, in a world where knowledge is pushed as power and something to strive for, I agree with someone from the fall knowledge was used to separate us from God. Is it okay to watch your videos in the restroom? Shais proceeds to teach Hayem Yem. Well, that answers your question. I hope you ran out of the bathroom when I started reading the Hayem Yem. I don't know. What should you do? Should you flip the phone off? If you're sitting in the bathroom and someone starts reading Hayem Yem, should you turn your phone off or you should run out of the bathroom? What? Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready. We have a caller on the line. Who's our caller? What? Oh, we don't know their name. Hi. You're on the phone with me. Oh, Moshe, hi. What's up?
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem.
I was chatting in the comments also about this, about the education system.
Oh, you got traumatized? You're the one with dyslexia who got traumatized?
Yeah.
So earlier in the comments, I don't know if he's still watching the show because he's in Eretz Yisrael, but Tamir Goodman commented in the comments above. He had a terrible time in yeshiva. He also has dyslexia. And I remember I mentioned this to Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, when he was here because he also has dyslexia. And I said how Tamir told me that when he would be in the classroom and look at the blackboard, he couldn't make heads or tails of it. But when he would be on the basketball court, he could see everything. He would see how to make the plays happen. And he realized it was the same brain. It was just his brain was built for the basketball court, wasn't built for the classroom.
Yeah, so I definitely have I saw one of your videos the other day about neurodiverse when you get older, like it becomes a power.
Yeah.
And definitely for me, was able to bring out my power now. But now I have a successful business and I have
amazing.
But
thank God.
I can't get myself to like open learning or davening
because of the negative associations with it.
Right. Yeah. And also, I'm saying, besides, I also have a hard time understanding the words. I never really learned the language.
But there's so many classes online. You could just listen. You don't have to have a sefer. I mean, on Shabas, I guess, but on a weekday, you could just listen.
Right. And it's like a hard association, and it's just.
How come I don't trigger you?
Because you don't have the same judgment the others have.
That is an incredible compliment, and I was fishing for that compliment, and I did it anyways because I also need encouragement. I want to tell you what I pride myself in. I will often get usually it's like a DM on Instagram, but sometimes an email or a text. I will get a comment. People will say like, Rabbi, I don't like rabbis, but you're okay. That to me is the best compliment.
Yeah.
That's the best compliment. Okay, so I'm not triggering you because you don't feel that I'm judgmental. Good. I endeavor not to be judgmental.
You also don't have the need to be perfect, and that's also
that's why I do that. By the way, JFYI, one of the reasons that I do act a little bit goofy. Even though I'm an action star, sometimes I'm act bizarre. But, the reason why I do act a little bit goofy is because it helps people to feel okay with being themselves. And I think it's important to set that example. Or did you hear that caller at the beginning, that lady who felt inadequate because she wasn't making 20 salads?
Yeah, she was incredible.
Because I
wish my wife would have heard that.
Well, you could send her the link, you could go back and listen to it. But the pressure to play a role, it's so intense. It's like, where does it even come from? It's not Yiddishkeit. It's not halacha, it's not minhag, it's like purely just social pressure.
Right, but what I feel is that most of this whole thing of you say 3 times a day, like this whole rigid way, like this is how you're supposed to connect to Hashem with these words, and you say this, and it doesn't really work with me.
Okay.
The way how you're supposed to connect. You're saying these 3 times a day, and you do this and do that.
Well, let me ask you a question,
I feel
sir.
like it's a very
Moshe, I need to ask you a question. There's a whole discussion about what is tefillah. And so according to some opinions, the whole concept of saying certain words at certain times is not the mitzvah. It's not the actual, at least not the biblical mitzvah of tefillah. The mitzvah d'oraisa. Did I trigger you by saying mitzvah d'oraisa?
No.
Thank God. Okay, Baruch Hashem. The min haTorah, the chiyuv of tefillah, is that whenever you have a need, you turn to Hashem. If you don't have a need, then you don't have to turn to Hashem. But if you have a need, you turn to Hashem. So Moshe, I'm going to ask you a question. Setting aside the nusach tefillah, the Anshe Knesset Gedolah, and the Zmanei tefillah, Shachas Mincha Ma'ariv, set aside all of that for now. Do you at least engage in tefillah d'oraisa, meaning when you have something that's heavy on your heart, you turn to Hashem in your own words and express yourself?
I would say definitely a lot of times. I can't say it always,
but often.
Often, yeah. I'm saying
Moshe, keep it up. Mitzvah, geireres, mitzvah. You just keep it up. You just, if you do that and you continue doing that, you're going to do more and more and more and more. And maybe one day you will pick up a siddur and it won't trigger you.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to enjoy and appreciate what you're doing, and you're going to do more.
Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you.
What do you do on Shabas? Do you go to shul?
I go to shul, yeah, and I go to I say some words, or I just open the siddur and I just like turn pages, or I go and schmooze in the back. I don't know.
Okay.
It depends how. But most of the drive is social. It's not no drive. Like I'm not expressing my spiritual connection.
Okay.
Like it's not.
That's
the
okay.
Social thing that I do.
Okay. You're not hanging out at the bowling alley or at the bar. You're hanging out in shul. That's beautiful.
Right. Yeah. But I feel that missing part of me.
What are you missing? What do you want?
Part. I don't know. I feel like maybe.
You want to daven from a siddur? Who's stopping you? You can daven as much as you want or as little as you want.
I don't know.
Is it that you wish that you could daven from a siddur, but every time you do it, it starts reminding you of getting screamed at to keep your head in the siddur and staring at letters that you can't even understand?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I wish to, like, for example, learning. Definitely, I feel with that more. I wish to. I like learning deep things, and I am intelligent. I like to learn things, and I usually tend to learn everything and like all topics. But when it comes to learning Torah, when it becomes like, which I really want, but it triggers me like crazy, and it makes me feel like I hear, like when I learn, like I just feel like, no, I'm giving in to all those people that told me that I need to learn.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, could you find like maybe a share you could go to that's where it's more of a conversation and it doesn't have to be so text-based, so you could get that intellectual stimulation that you're seeking?
Definitely, I have a lot of shame of being in a, like, which that's how I went through when I was a kid. I never showed my dyslexia. No one of my friends knew that. I was always part of everything, and I never showed.
Let me ask you a question. You said you have.
I don't want to be in that Nevi.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. You said you have a successful business, Baruch Hashem, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if that means you're super rich or just means you're getting by. Listen, if you could support a frum family on the East Coast, you're a gvir in my book. But at any rate, you're successful, right? I mean, whatever that means. Super. Okay, but the point is,
I support my family.
You support your family. Okay, so listen. Here's what I suggest to you. A lot of people are not supporting their families. They're struggling. They're envious of your situation. Here's what I want to tell you. You're an adult. You're not in school anymore. You're not a kid anymore. You're in the big world. You're in the adult world, and you're succeeding, and you're making money. You're not a gvir. You're not super, super rich. But the point is, you do okay. You support your family. Baruch Hashem. I think, remember when I was telling that lady at the beginning of the show that she should make it okay? She should destigmatize having Fruity Pebbles on Friday night for the younger women who are coming up behind her. I want to give you a similar challenge, Moishi. I want to give you a similar challenge. There are guys who are going to look at you, who they know that you have a business, you do okay, you're making it in life, you're far from a loser, you're a successful young man, and I think you should be very vocal about the fact that you have dyslexia. And I don't know if that means that you can't read or it's just really painful to read or whatever it is, but I think you should be really vocal about it, because I think you will save someone else, or maybe more than one person, maybe many people, a lot of shame when they'll look at you. Imagine some 15-year-old kid who's going through hell right now, and he looks up at you and he says, Moshe's a normal guy. He's successful. He got married. He has a family. He has a business. And he's admitting that he couldn't keep up in yeshiva, and he still he figures out different ways to learn because he's an intelligent guy. He appreciates deep ideas, but he's not comfortable reading, and he's not a loser. Could you go out of your box a little bit and maybe start to be the poster child for this a little bit?
I definitely could, yeah. I'm saying it'll be hard, but I guess I hear that there's definitely a lot of benefit.
Imagine if when you were 15, you knew some guy in your shul. How old are you now, Moshe?
I'm 28.
28. Imagine if when you were 15 and hating life because you're sitting 9 hours a day staring at a Gemara and can't make heads or tails of it. Imagine if you knew a guy who was 28, who you respected and looked up to, and imagine the relief you would have saying, look, you know what? I heard this guy has dyslexia. I heard he's not comfortable reading, and he's got a good life. Wow, there's a future for me. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Can you imagine when you were 15 if you would have seen a guy who's 28 who's like you are, the way you are now, but like imagine if you had a guy like that in your life when you were 15 and you knew this guy was dyslexic. What would have that meant to you?
Yeah, it would have definitely made me feel, definitely give me, take off a load off my shoulder, feel that I could do this.
Yeah.
And I should.
So the way that you were hiding it all those years, do the opposite now. You can afford to. It's not.
For example, any things that I have shame in, instead of having shame in it, just turning it into helping. For example, because I don't look at dyslexia because when I was a kid I didn't know that I had dyslexia. I didn't know how to explain what. Because I always figured out ways on how my parents shouldn't know and how my everything. I just didn't take tests. I was the not good kid that doesn't take the test. I was always getting away with it and not really showing. I had a lot of shame in the fact of this whole thing. I didn't even know what it is. I just thought that I'm stupid or something. But being open and just saying that for example, I don't know Lushan Kodesh, and when I was in yeshiva, it was very hard that I just didn't know how to, when I was learning or whatever, I didn't know what these words mean or whatever. To be open with it and tell other people, definitely when I was a kid, if I would have known that there's someone 28 years old that doesn't know Lushan Kodesh and wouldn't know what they're saying by davening or whatever, then I wouldn't have felt like a fool or something.
Yeah. Well, I think you have an opportunity now to do that for the next young guy.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for calling in. I really appreciate it. And go to the beginning of the call with that lady Adena about the Fruity Pebbles and show it to your wife.
Okay, yeah, I will.
Okay.
Thank you. I really love watching your stuff, and thank you for what you do.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Really. Thank you for connecting. Okay. Have a great Shabas and guten Chodesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Be well. Great caller. Gishmaka Yingaman. That was a beautiful call. Yisrael, you like that call? Yeah. Okay. Calling to the CallIn show. We got to call into the CallIn show. Call into the CallIn show. CallIn to the CallIn Show. Hashgacha Pratis Stories. Hashgacha Pratis Stories. Gonna tell some Hashgacha Pratis stories. Gonna tell some Hashgacha Pratis stories. Yesterday, I was here in SoulWords Studios, and we were recording some videos. What? It was yesterday. No, it was yesterday, yeah. We were recording some videos, and this young man who helps me out, Yosef David, actually, who is my son-in-law's brother, which makes him nothing to me, but he's my son-in-law's brother. At any rate, but he's a very fine young man and a talented video editor. And he does a lot of the stuff that you see here on SoulWords. So we were shooting some video. In fact, we posted some of the videos already that we shot yesterday. I weighed in on the Coldplay Jumbotron scandal. And I also weighed in on the Twitter war between Andrew Tate and Matt Walsh. Those two videos were posted already. We're having fun like that, making those kinds of videos. At any rate, so as we were driving home, or I was driving home, he was sitting with me. Yosef was sitting in the passenger seat. He says to me, "Oh, you know, there's this video that I edited of you a long time ago. We never published it." And he pulled it up and showed it to me. And I saw it was he took a 5-10 minute clip from another talk, a much longer talk that I gave, I don't know, at least 5 years ago. And he made a clip, a 13-minute clip actually. And it's a story that I tell, a personal story about my friend, the Buddhist priest who I used to study Torah. Why did I study Torah with a Buddhist priest? One guess, yeah, of course, because he was Jewish. And unfortunately, he was raised in a very, I'd say, sanitized version of Judaism, very secularized, sanitized version, which was not very fulfilling for him. And so when he got older and he was searching for spiritual meaning, he went outside of Judaism and he became a Buddhist. And he became a Buddhist priest because, like they say, Jews are like everybody else, only more so. A Jew becomes a Buddhist, can't be a regular Buddhist. It has to become the Buddhist priest. Anyways, so he was a brilliant man. He passed away, but he was a brilliant, brilliant man, and I loved him. And we used to study together. And so Yosef pulls up this video. He's like, "Hey, we never published this video. It's you telling that story about your friend, the Buddhist priest." I said, "You know, he passed away, I mean, it was at least 15 years ago, maybe between 15, 20 years ago." I said, "It was around this time of year. His yahrzeit might be coming up. Let me Google it." And he was a famous guy, so it wasn't hard to Google information about when he passed away. And I got the English date, July 30th, 2007 or whatever it was. And then we put it into the Chabad.org date converter, and we pull it up, and it was yesterday. This was happening yesterday, and the yahrzeit was yesterday. So all of a sudden we were talking about this guy, and it was his yahrzeit. That day was his yahrzeit. So I was like, "Yosef, you got to publish this video now." And you know, the Jewish day goes from sundown to sundown. So we were driving home, and I was like, "See, the sun is getting lower in the sky. Okay, as soon as the sun sets, the Jewish date is over. It's the next day already." I said, "You got to publish this video now while it's still his yahrzeit." And he did, and it's on our channel, and it's called I Triggered My Friend the Buddhist Priest. And in the thumbnail, it says, in memory of Robin Kornman, April 17th, 1947 through July 31st, 2007. And yeah, so it was his yard site yesterday. Yizichrei Baruch. His memory should be for a blessing. He was an incredible person, very deep, very wise, very sensitive man. And I miss him. And you should watch the video where I tell a story about him. So that was a little hashgacha pratis, a little divine providence. Yeah. Was noch? What else do you want to hear about? We got to call into the CallIn show. Everybody got to call into the CallIn show. Call into the CallIn show. Call into the call. We're going to wrap up soon. So, how do I tighten this particular thing? Here. Call into the CallIn show. Call into the CallIn show. Call into the CallIn show. Gonna call into the CallIn show. If there's time, would you please answer my question? Okay, I'm going to read it. Can a marriage remain strong when a couple no longer shares the same beliefs? Does spiritual unity mean identical beliefs? Can mutual respect and commitment sustain an interfaith marriage? Having both experienced previous marriages, my husband and I have been married for 8 years. Although we shared fundamental Christian beliefs, we had some differing convictions. He introduced both me and my daughter to Sabbath keeping, and the biblical feasts. In 2024, he stepped away from the Christian faith we once shared and stopped attending weekly services with us. While he continues to observe the Sabbath and feasts, our spiritual paths have diverged. He believes that a marriage cannot thrive without shared religious beliefs, and I'm struggling to accept that. Okay. So it sounds like basically, his spiritual beliefs have shifted, and he believes that it is not sustainable to have a marriage when you have two different manners of belief. So what does that mean? He's saying that it's the end of the marriage, or he's saying that he wants you to share the same beliefs? Is he saying he wants you to come over to believing the way he believes? Or is he saying, no, I accept the fact you believe what you believe, I believe what I believe, and we're not going to really be able to maintain this relationship? I think I need clarity about which of the two scenarios we're talking about over here. You can write it in the chat if you so choose. And I want to remind you also to donate. Charity.com/RST. Please donate. Give us all of your money. No, I'm joking. Don't give us all of your money. Give us $1. I loved your insight on the CEO scandal. Can you elaborate more how the serial killer has similar personality to CEO? First of all, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed that little video. I can't really elaborate on it because it's not like I'm an expert in this area. I don't know. It's one of these studies that they did. I don't know. I saw this years ago that the personality profile of CEOs matches a psychopathic personality. I don't know. The Coca-Cola on the table makes me love you more. Truly nectar from heavens. Well, thank you. I'm challenging you guys, you artistic community, to create a piece of art that invokes orange cream Coca-Cola. I want some art that invokes the energy of the orange cream Coca-Cola. Hi, Rabbi. I sent a few emails. I was wondering if there's any time for those questions. I'll go check out the email 1 second. But hold on. I'm not sure. At times he says he wants the marriage to end. Okay, listen. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know. This is a tough thing. I mean, what do you want me to do? I don't know you, so it's very hard for me to take responsibility here to, like, advise you in a situation where we're really talking about, you know, God forbid, but it could be the end of a marriage and breaking up a family, and that's like serious stuff. That's life and death. Listen, I can't advise you there, but I can tell you that you got to be true to yourself. And he knows that you got to be true to yourself. You can't fake faith. So if you're called to a similar spiritual path as he is on, then that'll happen. But if it doesn't happen, you can't do it for him. That wouldn't be authentic. You can't lie a prayer. You ever heard that expression? You can't lie a prayer. I mean, you can, but there's no point. Who are you lying to? God? Can I ask you to discuss the Kinyan Kesef aspect of Hafadas Nadarim in a way that is somewhat acceptable to someone who needs political correctness, so that I can explain to someone like that? That's very lumdish. I don't know if that's for this matzav. Yeah. What? No. You want to remind me? I don't know. CallIn to the CallIn show. I'm calling to the CallIn show. I'm looking at the email right now. CallIn to the CallIn show. CallIn to the CallIn show. Okay. Deep questions over here. I told you already, right, that I got very little sleep. Someone wrote in the chat, I love the gumball machine that appears sometimes in the background. So I want to tell you something. What? The what is blocking? Look at that. There's the gumball machine. The gumball machine, every single thing in this set has purpose. The gumball machine is a piece of Americana, which invokes the purity and innocence of youth, of mid-century life. It's sort of like, you know, like I'm Gen X, so for me, nostalgia is stuff that's like 20, 30 years before I was born. So to me, like that metal gumball machine represents like the days gone by from when I was a kid. Meaning not my youth, but like what was already nostalgic when I was a youth, if you catch my drift. You guys understand this? Now I want to show you something. Look at this. What is this? Chavre. Cook. What is this? What is it? What is this? It's a dumpster fire. I like that. CallIn to the CallIn show. We got a gumball machine with a dumpster fire. What'd you say you saw? What's the meaning of the dumpster fire? The dumpster fire represents catastrophe, crisis, craziness, chaos. Why I'm in the red, by the way. When I raise my voice, why is it red, you saw? Oh, is it breaking? Yeah. You turned it down a little bit? Yeah. It's still red. Okay. The dumpster fire represents chaos, trauma, crisis. Everything is crazy. But it's like this whimsical little guy. So it's basically making fun of the chaos and the crisis. To me, it's like a way of like mocking the crisis. Instead of saying, I'm going to be overwhelmed by the crisis and let it consume me, this is me like making a joke out of it, making a cute little figure out of it, and being like, haha, cute crisis. So that it represents the sense of humor that the person of faith is able to have under all circumstances, even highly stressful circumstances. That's what it represents. Now, what is this? What color, sir? What color is this cube? The meaning is, what is this? Pink, blue, yellow, pink, blue. The meaning of this is the idea of perspective. That sometimes perspectives overlap and create complexity. It's a metaphor for life, for how different people see things differently depending on their vantage point, where they're standing. It's a reminder of that. This also is a little bit of Americana and a nostalgia. It's a water toy. Pump it, pump it. Let's see. La, 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 la. No, you can't see it at all. Yeah. You can't see it at all. Oh, there a little bit. Go further away. Come closer to me. Go, stand right there. Stand right there. Stand right there. Okay, now pump it. You see that little swordfish, little porpoise, whatever that is, and he catch the rings. You said, "Oh, catch a ring." Oh, you caught a ring. Oh, you caught a ring. Caught a ring. And it represents the fish. The fish is a very mystical creature. It lives in the water, and it cannot leave the water. And it is a reminder that really all of us have to be constantly immersed in our life source, meaning God himself. That's what the fish represents. You want to put it back? Where is it? Then we have some dreidel. Dreidel. Here's another prism. This is a prism. Fidget spinner. This represents neurodivergent pride. Fidget spinner. What else? I love the fact the red potted hanging plant is slightly crooked too. You love that? Because it was bothering me and I tried to fix it and I couldn't fix it. I missed the Tanya poster in the background. The Tanya poster is at the other studio in my garage. Yes, we have a new studio. This is at the SoulWords house in Queens, a half a block from the aisle. And if you want to help us pay for all of this, charity.com/RST. Please, charity.com/RST. Charity.com/RST. When my grandmother lived in the same state as me, she had a hanging plant like you have, and it scared me as a kid. I don't know why. You know, it's funny that as children, things scare us. You know, my aunt and uncle in their house, they don't even know this. They had they had a split level house, like was all the rage in the 70s and the suburbs. And there was like a railing that separated two levels of the house. And that railing was like this kind of wrought iron type of design. And I cannot tell you why, but the patterns of that wrought iron traumatized me so deeply. I used to have nightmares about those patterns. It's so weird, the things that like make an impression in a young brain. I also used to be scared of different paintings. Paintings were like 90% of paintings when I was a kid were at the very least like eerie to me, and some were like downright terrifying. Terrifying. Someone writes, is only half the dumpster on fire intentional? It's not only half the dumpster on fire. Dude, the whole dumpster is full of fire, but this part is closed, so the fire can't come out if it's closed. It doesn't open. It's permanently that way. That's what I'm loving about Rabbi. I had never looked at fish that way. Mind blown. Man, do I need God. Okay, good. Well, if my little fish toy convinced you that you need God, I would consider that a job well done. What does that mean, a TikTok style video? Is not using your talent for parnasa a bad thing, in your opinion? Sometimes we use our talent to make money. Sometimes we just make money. Sometimes they come together. Sometimes they don't. I don't know if the TikTok style, Yisrael, I don't know how to do that. Okay, I think we're going to wrap up soon, unless we get some like serious donations. I'm going to go check up the donations. Really no donations coming in. I'm kind of like disappointed there about that. Last week we had a lot of donations come in. It was pretty awesome. This week I'm not really seeing much happening. Yeah. All right. Any burning issues before we wrap up over here? Yeah, what? Is there a direct correlation between learning Torah and parnasa? Yeah, of course there is. Yeah. Yeah, for a Jew, you don't make your living based on how hard you work. You got to have a job because Hashem has to have a vessel within which to deposit the blessings. And that blessing, that vessel that holds the blessings, that vessel has to be something that's within the natural bounds of this world. It can't be a miracle. So you have to have a job. But really, we are blessed with livelihood based on the Torah that we learn, the mitzvahs that we do. Our spiritual life is what elicits the blessings from on high. Thank you for tonight. This made me laugh in a time where I'm struggling. You know, there's nothing more meaningful to me than being told that I'm helping someone who's struggling. If I can help them by being smart and saying something deep and wise and meaningful, that's nice. If I can help them by just being silly and making them laugh, that's great too. Whatever, who cares? Whatever it is. If it helps, that's all that matters. This call made me laugh so hard sometimes. Thank you. What was the funniest line of the night? So that's what I want to know. I want to know what's funny. I want to know, how am I funny to you? Like a clown to you? What was the funniest line of tonight? I'm honestly curious. Call into the CallIn show. Do 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 do. At my house, before we sing a Sader Lisada, it's Avre de Shabbat. The words by the Arizal, and the Nigun is a Nigun that the Lubavitcher Rebbe taught. At any rate, but before we sing a Sader, I have, the past few months at least, I've developed this really annoying custom, habit, ritual, obsession, compulsion. I will go like this. I'll go, do 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 do. Why? Because there was an album that was put out in the 90s of the Rebbe's Nigunim. And they had this intro. Nigunim. No, I'm trying to find it here. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. It goes like that. It's like this intro. Yasmin bo hasdo, Yasmin bo hasdo, Yasmin bo hasdo, Adiga Kadisha. So I gotta find this album. It was from the 90s. Yeah, I'm trying to remember, what was it called? Like the Rebbe's Nigunim. It's from the 90s. And before the Asada, there was like this instrumental intro. Do 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 do. Like basic. I haven't heard this in 25 years at least, but that's how I remember it, and I'm trying to find it. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? How do I donate, Rabbi? Charity.com/RST. That's where you donate. Your singing is funny. Thank you. I agree. By the way, people think that I think I'm a good singer. I do not think I'm a good singer. I think I enjoy singing. It's like fun. I do it playfully, whimsically. It is even funny sometimes the way I sing. I don't think I'm good at singing. Is that a link? Yeah, it's a link. I think the reason I was afraid of the hanging plant was I was afraid of it coming alive. Oh my gosh. Like Little Shop of Horrors. Discussing the salads. I think that's the answer to the question, what made you laugh out loud? So discussing the salads made him laugh out loud. I'm davening to someday be able to give more tzedakah. I think helping is so important, but I'm not in a position yet where I can give every day. Hashem should bless you with ample, ample sustenance where you can give. You should be able to give away. You should come to a point where you can give away more than what you make now. Meaning what you're giving away should be even more than what you're currently earning. Why do some pronounce, oh my gosh, a dikduk question? Why do some pronounce the Chat of Pasach and some don't? Dude, we're not going to do dikduk. That's not going to happen. I don't know why people pronounce Chat of Pasach. She's in Jerusalem? I don't know who you're asking about. An anonymous donation just came in. $2, effectively doubled for $4. And I see the name. I know who it is, but it says display name anonymous. So I'm going to respect your anonymity, and I'm not going to say your name, but I see your name. And I want to thank you for your donation. I love it. $2 donation. It is meaningful. It's as meaningful as a $2,000 donation. What? The person I give a bracha to says Amen. Okay. Call into the CallIn show. Call into the CallIn show. You got to call into the CallIn show. Call into the CallIn show. You said Vi Azmin and Vi Azamin. Oh. You're saying, okay, hold on a second. Oh, you're saying, why did I say Va'azamin and not Va'azmin? Va'azamin. Okay. Yeah, you're saying I'm pronouncing the Chat of Pasach. Va'azamin bahashta. Yeah, I am. You're right. Yeah. How often do you go live, Rabbi? We try to go live every Thursday night for the Thursday night call-in show. And you can email us. If you have a question you'd like to discuss on the Thursday night call-in show, please email us at info@soulwords.org. That's info@soulwords.org. Let us know what you want to talk about. And if we think you're serious and that your call topic is appropriate for the show, we will send you the call-in info. Yazamin bohashta. Now I'm emphasizing it. Vazamin bohashta, atika kadisha. Hey, nere yishreva bikdusha rabba uvechamratava. Who can find that album for me? Who can find me that album? Who can find that album for me? Oh, I think I found it. Oh, I think I found whatever the BB. Oh, I think I found it. Yeah, ma. Yeah, ma. Yeah, ma. Hold on. Ma. Okay, how was I saying it, Yisrael? No, the little right? Okay, I haven't heard this. I see the cover of the album, and this is I remember. Okay, let's see if I remember correctly. Okay, hold on, I gotta mute this. Okay, hold on. You guys ready? Let's see if I was right. What? Oh my gosh, do you have Spotify? Hold on. YouTube music. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's see if I was right. Insider threats. System outage. Ransomware. New. Okay. Okay. It's not what I thought. It's very different than what I thought. Is that wrong? All these years I remembered it wrong. My whole life has been a lie. I remembered it a little bit wrong from 25 years ago. It's midnight. Are those real gumballs? Yeah, you want to see me chew on one? Yes, they are real gumballs. Aqualung. I don't know why you're saying Aqualung. Another donation came in, but also with an anonymous. I recognize this name. This person already donated. Now they're donating again. That's pretty cool. Okay, so, sir, thank you for donating another time. I know that you donated already. Because it's an unusual name, and I recognize the name. I'm going to actually just search this up. How many times you donated? Yeah, twice. Okay. The first time you donated $13, and which was yesterday, and then today you donated $20. Pretty cool. Thank you. But since you wanted to be anonymous, I'm not going to say your name. I'm going to respect your anonymity. What's your take on the book of Eov? I don't know. It's a good book. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is now midnight, and I think it's time to wrap things up. So, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to our wonderful, amazing callers. I'm always amazed by the level of discourse that takes place here. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for being vulnerable and honoring me with your personal life or details, certain details, aspects of your personal life. Interesting cryptic comment right here. Would never tell the name of the person who led me to your videos, but I'm glad he, whatever. God bless you. Have a good night. Why would you never tell the name of the person who led me to your videos, or led you to my videos? You don't want to reveal who it was. Okay. Good night, Rabbi. Thank you for your wisdom, humor, and sharing of your gift. Thank you. Okay. Good night. End the stream. I'll end it, Yisrael. Don't worry. I can do it. Do 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 do. Dee 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 dum bum bee bee bee. Asadel sudazo bezavradi shebato. V'yazamin bo hashda, v'yazamin bo hashda, v'yazamin bo hashda, Yazamin bo hashda watika kadesha